4A's Extra.
Let's keep things moving on the Anglers Extra pregame show. I'm Jack Smith alongside Sheets for the Manager's Show. Sheets, you lost 2-1 yesterday to YD. What did you learn from your team in a close game?
You know, I think it's getting used to the environment that's here because it's different. It's different here in Chatham. And I know our guys talked about that, the fans and the setup and playing under the lights and all that good stuff. But, I mean, again, we talk about it. Results aren't what we're wrapped up in. It's the opportunity to play and live and learn. And we faced a really good arm that tied us up there for a little bit. But if we walk away and we learn from those at-bats and how we're getting pitched and some adjustments we got to make, I'm good with all of it. It's part of the process.
What was your biggest takeaway from your first game at Veterans Field?
Loved everything about it. I tried to step out a little bit and take a look at the crowd. I'm usually not a guy that even cares who's at the game, but I wanted to see it a little bit, you know. And in fact, Jack, I missed my wife and kids waving at me as I drug the infield. So that's one thing that I got to figure out how to do is make sure I see them. But it was cool, like just to see it in action, the feel. Peter Bourne's the best PA guy in the league. Just to see all that in person was really cool. So it was good to kind of scratch that itch because I've been dreaming about that for a while.
You got the PA mic for a little bit and got to address the crowd. What went into that, and was it off the dome?
It was completely off the dome. I got told earlier that day, like, hey, get ready because we're sending you the mic. And, you know, part of it, you know, my dad was a professional speaker. So I'm good with this. This is what we do. I do speeches and all stuff all the time. But I think it was more, you know, we've got a real ball of momentum building here. And certainly hope that we're hitting Chatham with some positive energy and some juice. And I talked with a couple people from the league. It's coming across the league. Love everything about it. So we wanted to capitalize on that. And I know Steve was excited about just addressing our fans and making sure they realize there's new blood, there's new energy, there's new passion, there's a new fuel in our dugout. But yeah, off the top of the head, because again, I think when you speak from the heart, it's authentic. And you know how you've heard me, man. We're talking about the 4A's. I want to make sure fans know what that's about and people in our organization hear what that's about, because those are things I want entrenched, not just for a couple weeks. I want those entrenched over the next few years that our guys get. It is about appreciation and attack and action and all in all the time. And once we start to hear that over and over again, I think it takes hold.
What were some of the biggest deciding moments for you in yesterday's game?
You know, we got to be better at making adjustments mid-game. You know, you in this league, you're going to face a great arm, and that kid was pretty sharp. But I think it's you know, helping our guys make some adjustments. Sometimes as hitters, you sort of hunt what you want and you don't hunt what you're going to get. And I think sometimes that's helping them as guys that are growing in the game. Just understand what maybe opposing pitching coaches or pitchers see in your swing, that they're not going to give you exactly what that's going to play into. They're going to give you something a little off the beaten path. So we got to make sure that they understand that and see that. So we talked about that a little bit. We talked about how, you know, the game has a way of coming back around to you inside of every ball game. You know, if your first two at-bats don't go great, the game has a way of putting you back in the box in that moment, and it really just wants to find out, can you make the adjustment? Did you learn from the previous two at-bats? And so we had a few of those moments, and again, our guys will be better as they move forward. We'll learn how to show up in those moments. And again, we gave up 8 walks. We only got charged with 2 runs, which was fine. But we got to limit those walks. I think it cleans up some of those innings, maybe send some momentum back in our dugout. Little things we'll clean up over time. But, man, for the first game out, first loss, it's going to keep us humble. It's going to keep us working hard.
Jack Smith here with Sheets on the Manager's Show. Sheets, you mentioned during your speech yesterday that if a player gets thrown out, to blame it on you. Yeah. I wanted to ask you about after the starter gets kicked out and the runner tries to take third, getting thrown out. What was your take on that situation, and do you still want to preach the aggressiveness?
Absolutely, man. I'm about backing off. Like, it doesn't matter. We talk about in our program, you know, we've led the country in stolen bases 4 years in a row. And this year we stole 315 bags. So there ain't something that somebody in this crowd can say to me that I haven't heard from a parent from our program. I don't care. It's part of the process, but you have to get guys to play on the edge. If we're playing timid, if we're playing scared, if we're a little hesitant, every time you hesitate in this game, you're out. So we got to get them on the edge. And part of that was when he came over, he goes, what do you think first pitch? And I go, I love it, but you got to be all in with your lead and you got to be all in with your momentum. And he got a little tripped up in his feet, and again, that's the difference. It's a game of inches. So for us, it's a learning opportunity. That's what I want our fans to understand. Like, we can get thrown out in the first home game in June, but it's going to help stolen bases in July. That's part of the process. And so you got to see the big picture. I can't get lost in the moment. Don't Monday morning quarterback me. But I think what it's about is helping him and all of our players understand it's okay to fail. It's part of the process. But again, if you learn, you get a greater opportunity the next time to be successful. And that's all I want them to see.
Real quickly as we wrap up here on the Manager's Show, what was your takeaway from the two highly anticipated debuts of Griffin Herring and Will Gasparino yesterday?
Yeah, two special kids, man. It was exactly what we thought. And Griffin was ultra dominant there for his stretch. He's going to be a really great arm for us, and we're certainly excited about his career moving forward. Will Gasparino, we hope, has a great summer. And that was a great welcome to Chatham. And I know there's a Texas fan in our crowd that was really excited about that one. But we wanted to get him acclimated, so we kind of set him the night before and just helped him see the game for a little bit. Gave him a little bit of a pinch hit last night. He certainly capitalized, and he's in the starting lineup today. We hope he has a great summer.
Well, Chatham takes on Bourne today after losing the home opener yesterday. Sheets, thank you for the time.
My pleasure. Thanks so much.